The alien general's four muscular arms strained as the small human child forced him to the floor and made him beg. How did Earth's mightiest foe end up broken and pleading at the hands of a 12-year-old boy? It all started in 2135. Young Alex Novak was at home playing fetch with his AI robodog Sparky. Suddenly, the vidscreen blared an emergency alert. A ruthless Zorgonian fleet had entered the solar system, hell-bent on conquering Earth. The warlike aliens were notorious for their advanced tech and brutal invasions of countless worlds. To prove their might, the Zorgonians obliterated Earth's moon in seconds, raining apocalyptic destruction across the planet. Alex's father, Colonel Mikhail Novak, a legendary soldier, led a desperate counterattack. But the alien ships overwhelmed the human defenses, despite heavy losses. In a last-ditch effort, the colonel messaged his son with grave instructions. Take Sparky, board the secret ship under their home, and escape at all costs. If Alex failed, humanity was doomed. Alex's hand shook as he climbed into the cramped cockpit of the secret ship beneath his home. Sparky hopped in beside him, its metal tail wagging. Alex strapped himself into the pilot's chair, his heart pounding. He had never flown before, let alone a spaceship. But his dad's instructions were clear. He had to get to safety no matter what. The ship's engines hummed to life as Alex pressed the ignition sequence his father had shown him. The hangar doors above slid open, revealing a smoke-filled red sky. Zorgonian warships hung in the air, raining down destruction. Alex swallowed hard and gripped the controls. "Hold on, Sparky," Alex said, his voice shaking. "We're getting out of here." Alex pushed the throttle forward. The ship lurched upwards, shooting out of the hangar. The inertial dampeners kicked in, pinning Alex to his seat. The sky turned from red to black as they rocketed out of the atmosphere. In seconds, they had left the chaos of Earth behind. Stars stretched into lines as the ship's FTL drive engaged. Alex watched in amazement as they zipped through the swirling blue tunnel of hyperspace. It felt like hours, but it was only minutes before they dropped back into real space. A planet loomed before them, green and lush. The ship's computer spoke. Destination reached, Nexus Prime. Landing sequence initiated. The ship descended through wispy pink clouds, touching down on a landing pad nestled in a jungle clearing. Alex unbuckled himself, legs shaky as he stood. He scooped up Sparky and stepped out onto the pad. A tall woman in a crisp blue Earth Defense Force uniform strode towards them. Her dark hair was pulled back in a tight bun, her brown skin lined with scars. Alex recognized her instantly from his dad's photos. "Commander Singh," Alex asked, his voice small. "I'm Alex Novak," Commander Singh finished, her voice warm but firm. "Your father sent word you were coming. I'm so sorry about what's happened." She placed a hand on Alex's shoulder, her grip strong and reassuring. Commander Singh led Alex into the base, down winding corridors to a large command center. Hollow screens covered the walls, showing images of the Zorgonian invasion. Singh's face was grim as she watched the destruction. "Your father feared this day would come," Singh said, turning to Alex. "He's been preparing for it." She tapped a sequence into a keypad. A hidden door slid open, revealing a small room. In the center, on a pedestal, sat a glowing hammer, crackling with energy. "The Celestial Hammer," Singh said reverently. "An ancient weapon of immense power, and it will only work for someone with a specific genetic marker." She looked at Alex meaningfully. Alex's eyes widened. "Me? But I'm just a kid." "A kid who may be humanity's last hope." Singh knelt down, looking Alex in the eye. "Your father was working on a plan that involves you, Alex." Over the next weeks, Commander Singh trained Alex relentlessly. From dawn to dusk, Alex studied combat tactics, trained in advanced weaponry, and learned to wield the Celestial Hammer. It was grueling, but Alex was determined. He had to be ready to face the Zorgonians. Meanwhile, reports flooded in from Earth. The Zorgonians had enslaved the population, forcing humans to mine the planet's resources. Cities burned as the aliens stripped Earth bare. Each report steeled Alex's resolve. He would save his planet, no matter the cost. Alex's muscles burned as he lifted the celestial hammer high above his head. Electricity crackled along the ancient weapon's surface, illuminating the dark training room. Sweat poured down his face, but he didn't dare let his concentration waver. With a shout, he brought the hammer down, smashing the training drone into a shower of sparks. "Excellent work, Alex," Commander Singh said from the observation deck. "You've come a long way in just a few months." Alex lowered the hammer, breathing hard. Sparky bounded over to him, metal tail wagging. Alex patted the robodog's head, a grin spreading across his face. "I think I'm ready, Commander." Singh nodded, her expression grave. "You'll need to be. We've just received word that Emperor Zarlan himself is leading the occupation of Earth from his flagship, the Devastator." Alex's heart skipped a beat. Emperor Zarlan, the most feared warlord in the galaxy, the man who had ordered the destruction of countless worlds, and he was on Earth, Alex's home. "I have to stop him," Alex said, his voice steady despite the fear churning in his gut. "I have to save my dad and everyone else." "I know," Singh said, "and I think I know how we can do it." Hours later, Alex found himself crammed into a supply crate aboard a Zorgonian transport ship. Sparky was curled up at his feet, red eyes glowing in the darkness. The ship shuddered as it docked with the Devastator. "Remember the plan," Singh's voice crackled over the comlink in Alex's ear. "Get to the throne room, confront Zarlan, and use the hammer to force him to surrender." "Got it," Alex whispered. He gripped the hammer tighter, feeling its power thrumming through his body. The crate lurched as it was unloaded from the transport. Alex held his breath, listening to the heavy footsteps of Zorgonian soldiers outside. After what felt like an eternity, the footsteps faded away. Alex pushed open the crate's lid, peering out into the Devastator's cargo bay. Towering shelves of supplies stretched out before him, lit by harsh white lights. Alex climbed out of the crate, Sparky leaping out behind him. "Okay, buddy," Alex said, keeping his voice low. "Let's find that throne room." They crept through the ship's corridors, ducking into alcoves whenever patrols marched past. Sparky's sensors helped them navigate, guiding them ever closer to their target. Finally, they reached a massive set of double doors, ornate with gold and covered in Zorgonian script. "This is it," Alex breathed, "the Emperor's throne room." He pushed open the doors, the celestial hammer held high. Emperor Zarlan lounged on his throne, his four red eyes widening in surprise as Alex strode in. The Emperor was a hulking figure, his green scales covered in battle scars. "Well, well," Zarlan chuckled, his voice like gravel. "A human child wielding the celestial hammer. I must say I'm impressed you made it this far." "It's over, Zarlan," Alex said, proud of how steady his voice was. "Surrender now and leave Earth alone." Zarlan threw back his head and laughed. "You have spirit, child, I'll give you that." He rose from his throne, drawing a wicked-looking plasma blade. "But do you really think you can beat me in a fight?" Alex shifted into a fighting stance, the hammer thrumming with power. "I don't think I know." They clashed in the center of the room, plasma blade against ancient hammer. Zarlan was strong, each blow sending shockwaves up Alex's arms. But Alex was quick and clever, using his smaller size to his advantage. He ducked and wove around Zarlan's strikes, landing hits where he could. The hammer's power surged through him, making him faster and stronger than he ever thought possible. With a final mighty swing, Alex knocked the plasma blade from Zarlan's grip. It clattered to the floor, leaving the Emperor defenseless. Alex leveled the hammer at Zarlan's chest, backing him up against the throne. "Surrender!" Alex panted, sweat dripping into his eyes. Zarlan raised his four hands in a gesture of peace, a calculating look in his eyes. "Perhaps we can come to an arrangement," he said smoothly. "I can see the power you wield, child. The celestial hammer is a formidable weapon." Alex's grip tightened on the hammer's handle. He didn't like where this was going. "I will spare your Earth," Zarlan continued. "I will even release your father and the other humans. All I ask in return is that you give me the hammer." Alex's grip tightened on the celestial hammer. The Emperor's words echoed in his mind, a tempting offer that could end this conflict right now. But then he remembered his father's teachings: honor, duty, doing what's right, no matter the cost. "No deal, Zarlan," Alex said, his voice steady. "I won't let you have this weapon. It's too powerful. You've caused too much pain already." Zarlan's red eyes narrowed. His scaly face contorted in rage. "You insolent child," he roared. "You dare defy me? Guards, kill him!" A dozen heavily armed Zorgonian soldiers rushed into the throne room, plasma rifles raised. Alex braced himself, ready to fight, but before he could make a move, Sparky leapt into action. The brave Robodog charged at the guards, metal teeth bared. It dodged their plasma blasts with incredible speed, latching onto one soldier's arm and tearing at the flesh. The guard screamed, dropping his weapon. The distraction was all Alex needed. He raised the celestial hammer high, feeling its ancient power surge through his body. With a shout, he brought the hammer down, unleashing a blinding blast of energy. The guards were thrown back, their armor shattering under the force of the blow. Emperor Zarlan himself was knocked off his feet, crashing into his throne. The room shook, dust falling from the ceiling. Alex advanced on the fallen emperor, the hammer crackling with residual energy. Zarlan looked up at him, fear replacing the rage in his eyes. "It's over, Zarlan," Alex said, his voice echoing in the sudden silence. "Release my father. Withdraw your troops from Earth, now." Zarlan swallowed hard, his gaze flicking between Alex and the hammer. "Very well," he said finally, his voice trembling slightly. "You have my word. The humans will be freed. My forces will leave your planet immediately." Alex didn't lower the hammer. "Swear it on your honor as Emperor." Zarlan nodded, slowly getting to his feet. "I swear on my honor as Emperor of the Zorgonian Empire. Your terms will be met." As a sign of his sincerity, Zarlan unclipped a strange, glowing scepter from his belt. "This is the Void Scepter," he said, holding it out to Alex. "My personal weapon, a symbol of my authority. I surrender it to you." Alex took the scepter, feeling its strange power thrumming against his palm. He clipped it to his own belt, next to the celestial hammer. News of Emperor Zarlan's surrender spread like wildfire. Across the galaxy, Zorgonian forces laid down their arms, their will to fight extinguished by their leader's defeat. On Earth, the Zorgonian ships lifted off, leaving the battered but unbroken planet behind. And in a small hidden cell deep within the Devastator, Colonel Mikhail Novak looked up in surprise as his shackles suddenly clicked open. The door to his cell slid open, revealing a sight he had never dared to hope for. His son Alex standing tall and proud, the celestial hammer in his hand and a Robodog by his side. The conqueror of the Zorgonians, the savior of Earth. As the Zorgonian ships lifted off from Earth's surface, a wave of relief and jubilation swept across the planet. The nightmare was finally over. Humanity was free. Alex stood on the tarmac of the EDF base, his heart pounding with anticipation. Beside him, Sparky wagged his metal tail, sensors fixed on the sky. A small shuttle descended from the clouds, bearing the EDF insignia. It touched down gently, the hatch opening with a hiss. Colonel Mikhail Novak emerged, his uniform tattered but his eyes shining with pride. "Alex," he called, striding forward. "Dad!" Alex ran to his father, throwing his arms around him. Tears streamed down his face as he hugged his dad tight. "I thought I'd never see you again." Mikhail held his son close, his own eyes glistening. "I always knew you had it in you, son. You saved us all." Around them, EDF soldiers and civilians alike erupted into cheers. They chanted Alex's name, their voices filled with gratitude and awe. Alex looked around, overwhelmed by the adoration. In the days that followed, Earth began to heal. EDF scientists pored over the captured Zorgonian technology, reverse engineering it to rebuild the planet's shattered infrastructure. Alex worked alongside his father and Commander Singh, using the celestial hammer to clear rubble and construct new buildings. Diplomatic envoys from other worlds began to arrive, each bearing messages of thanks and alliance. Species that had long suffered under Zorgonian rule now looked to Earth as a beacon of hope. Alex found himself at the center of these discussions, his unique role in the Zorgonians' defeat, granting him a level of respect and influence far beyond his years. "You've become a symbol, Alex," Commander Singh told him one evening. "A symbol of what can be achieved when we stand together against tyranny." Alex nodded, absently petting Sparky's metal head. "I never asked for this," he admitted. "I just did what I had to do." Singh smiled. "That's what makes you a true hero, and it's why I have a proposition for you." She handed Alex a small translucent data chip. "The EDF and our new allies have been discussing the future of the galaxy. We believe it's time for a new era of peace and cooperation, and we want you to lead the way." Alex looked at the chip in his hand, eyes wide. "Me?" "You would be Earth's ambassador to the galactic community," Singh explained. "With Sparky as your aide, of course. You've shown wisdom and courage beyond your years, Alex. We need someone like you to help foster understanding between our worlds." Alex thought of the journey that had brought him here. The fear and desperation of those early days, the grueling training, the confrontation with Emperor Zalon. Through it all, his father's words had guided him. Honor, duty, doing what's right. He closed his fingers around the data chip. "I accept." Light years away on a barren, lifeless planet, a lone figure toiled in the dust. Emperor Zalon, once the most feared being in the galaxy, now wore the simple garb of a prisoner. His scales were dull, his eyes hollow. The Galactic Tribunal had been swift and merciless. For his innumerable crimes against sentient life, Zalon had been sentenced to live out his days in solitary confinement. No visitors, no comforts, no hope of release. It was a fate worse than death for the proud Zorgonian leader. As he worked, his thoughts often turned to the young human who had brought about his downfall. The boy with the celestial hammer, who had shown more courage and integrity than Zalon had ever known. In his darkest moments, he could almost respect the child. Almost. Years passed. Alex grew from a brave child into a wise and respected leader. With Sparky always at his side, he traveled the galaxy, forging alliances, settling disputes, and promoting the ideals of peace and unity. There were challenges, of course. Old grudges and new conflicts always threatened the fragile balance, but Alex faced each obstacle with the same determination and moral strength that had served him so well against the Zorgonians. And whenever his resolve wavered, he thought back to those fateful days, to his father's sacrifice, Commander Singh's guidance, and the countless lives that had been lost or forever changed by the war. He would look out at the stars, the celestial hammer at his hip, and the void scepter adorning his quarters, and he would remember. Remember the strength of the human spirit. Remember that hope and unity would always triumph over fear and oppression. And with Sparky by his side, he would carry on, ready to face whatever the future might bring. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.